Hello, everyone, and welcome to the FFUK Cup semi-final draw. And welcome along for another video. I've got with me three very special guests. As always, I've got Bakes with me. Hello, Bakes.
Good evening, Chris.
I've also got Tim, all the way from Northern Ireland. How you doing, Tim?
Evening, Christopher. How are we?
Lovely to see you. And we've also got top of the league tonight. We've got the favourite for the whole
Not the favourite.
Sorry, not the
Not
favourite.
the favourite.
Just top of the league most of the season. So
I'm only here because I want to savour the moment. This is my last chance. This might be my last chance. So
is it all downhill from here? Is it okay?
Yeah.
Well, no. Thank you for joining us, Steve. And hopefully we're going to get involved. Well, we're not going to get too involved, but we're going to be watching the FFUK semi-final draw, cup draw, which we're both in. But apparently the neutrals all want us not to get drawn out tonight. Is that correct?
Oh no, it's the neutrals. I think everybody wants you guys drawn against each other, don't they?
Yeah. I have
Okay.
scoped out the opposition, and there is. I think it's Malik. There's us two, Malik and Mark.
Yeah.
I think Malik's used all his chips.
Okay.
Like free hit, wild cards, everything. Mark's got, I think, triple captain and bench boost, but he's used his free hit. The same position as you, I guess, and then I've got just wild cards. So it's all good. I think chip strategy is going to be fascinating in this.
Interestingly, Chris, I received a phone call this afternoon from Mr. Mark Leatham, aka Leafy. Haven't heard from him in months. Missed call. Hi, Mark. How are we? Yeah, just checking to see how you are, mate. He wants everyone to know that he would have beat all of you last month.
Okay.
Oh, he's checked that out, has he? He's checked that out. I like that. That is good.
Good. Let's hope this is good in the following month after that comment. Well, let's hope he's watching. We've got one watcher at the moment, so it's probably him. So, good evening, Leafy, and you'll be looking forward to the draw as well. Right, before we get to the draw, though, we're going to have a little bit of an update on the other cups because I know we've got the Milk Plate semis starting and also Champions League stuff. So if we need an update on the cups, there's only one man to ask. Bakes, what's the latest?
So, yeah, as you say, the last game week brought to a close both the quarterfinals of the FFUK Cup and the quarterfinals of the Milk Plate. Right, so we'll have the semi-final draw in a moment for the FFUK Cup. Obviously, yourself and Steve are both in there, joined by Malik Mansour and Mark Leatham. So this is all very exciting when we get to that moment. Over in the Milk Plate, as we say repeatedly on these broadcasts, it's like a Wimbledon style draw, so it's all drawn all the way through to the end. So we already know who the semi-finalists are going to be. We've got.
Hold on, I think we can have it at the bottom of the screen.
Can you bring it up? Oh, fantastic! So we've got James Simpson versus Stephen Ormond, and we've got Joseph Mulhern versus Chris Smith. So those will all be taking place over the April game months. We've got the international break now, so the next game week doesn't start till we're just into April. So it'll be April game month.
How many game weeks do we know? It's going to be 4.
I think it's
4 or 5.
It's 4. It's actually quite a big one and I think that it's 4, and I think May is big. I think May might be 5 or something. Normally it's 3 or something.
May's normally 2. May's normally 2.
Yeah, it's interesting that May is a big one now.
Yeah.
So for that final, it's going to be heavy then, really big.
Final is going to be big.
Okay, well, awesome. Okay, what about Champions League, Bakes?
So Champions League, I'm showing my screen. I don't know if you want to.
Oh yeah, let's do that,
Chris, so we can have a look.
So
so the end of the last game week 29, brought to a close the second qualifying round. Let's just slide this across here so you can see it. So that was the second qualifying round. These four blocks of ties were contested in game week 29. Few interesting things to point out. First of all, Jamie Stewart, who came through the preliminary round all the way back in game week 26, still in. He's knocked out Andrew Fogarty with his 66 points, so he progresses with his Linfield side into the third qualifying round. And there he's going to play Europa of Gibraltar. They've also made it through to the third qualifying round, managed capably by Amit Shah. Also worth, I think, pointing out, we had 2 draws in the second qualifying round.
Wow!
2 draws. So in the Champions League, a draw is determined by overall rank, and I think, and it was a real. It was a heartbreaking one for Peter Hayes, because not only did he take a hit for 4 points that meant he went from 41 points to 37, and hence drew with John Parkinson. Not only that, he then went out on overall rank by 3 points to John Parkinson's. That hit, not only did it mean he drew, it meant he dropped below John Parkinson in overall rank as well. So absolute shocker for Peter Hayes. He goes out to John Parkinson and Rapid Vienna progress. Mark Leatham, the semi-finalist in the FF UK Cup, he also made it through via a draw. He had a bit of a bigger lead though in terms of overall rank. So we can see then what the third qualifying round draw looks like, which we have here. So Jamie Stewart plays Amit Shah, so that's an interesting tie. Chris Smith, who's in the semi-finals of the Milk Plate, he's still in. He's there playing Rob Harding. Mark Leatham, we were just talking about, he's there playing Tom Newman.
A lot of WhatsAppers in there.
A lot of WhatsAppers. Nick Johns, former winner of FF UK, he's playing Harvey Smith. So yeah, a lot of interesting ties. The winners of those will progress into the playoff round. So some teams join in the playoff round, so they're already in position, and the others will join them when they've won their ties. And then obviously the winners of those ties then join the group stage.
Cool.
So yeah.
Okay, so we're basically just at the point just before the playoffs, just before the group stages. So group stages start 32, is that right?
Yeah.
Week 32, yeah, and it's the group stage we played over 3 weeks, 32, 33, and 34, and it's your aggregate score over those 3 game weeks that will put you either in first or second place, and then that will then push you into then the last 16.
And hits count.
Hits always count, absolutely, yeah. Well done, Live FPL, for making that easy.
Well, as Peter Hayes found out this week as well.
Tough school.
Okay, cool. So that is that. Oh, that's not there. Okay, so let's move on from the Champions League and to the main event. Really, I think that's next. Yeah. So we've got Tim. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. We've got someone in to do the draw. And,
do the crunch.
And well, we had to get someone in because I couldn't do it. Steve couldn't do it, and Bakes needs to be obviously on all the spreadsheets. He can't leave the spreadsheet for 5 minutes. So we needed someone. So thank you, Tim, for offering to do it. No so how it's going to work is Tim's going to do the draw. Basically, we've only got 2 ties. It's pretty simple stuff.
Even I can't lose a team.
No, exactly. I'm not even worried that anything's going to go wrong here. So
no, there's definitely 4 in.
Let's get it on. I mean, the good thing is, whatever happens, me and Steve are either playing now, or we've got to try and then win to get to the final, and then that'll be glorious.
It's going to be a big month between the 2 of us, isn't it? It's going to be a big month.
Exactly. Either way, it's a big month. Yeah. So right, okay. Without further ado,
Leafy is watching, by the way.
Good evening, Leafy. Hopefully, Malek, you're watching as well. Good evening. Let's get this draw on the road.
Right, we're good to go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Team 1.
These to be played at neutral venues.
Yeah.
Always. No fans.
Numero uno.
Steve! Here it is. Straight out of the back.
Right.
Straight out.
Who have I got?
Who do you want?
I don't.
You're getting this little bit of paper. That's who you're getting.
They're all tough sides.
I'd rather play. The final if we can, but we'll find out. There you go. Just to prove that it's never a fix. I wouldn't have chosen that. So there you go.
And just for the record, as we always do.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Home tie in the second leg.
I've ripped this one a little bit.
Leafy will be like furious if we don't do this bit.
Nah, fuck it up. Redraw.
I've actually ripped it in half.
It's a piece of paper, Tim.
I know. But look, it says more.
Oh.
It says the LEA on it.
We'll take that as Mark Leatham.
And the
perfect. There you go. That's the proof.
them.
We need the last one.
You're getting it? Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm not rushing it, so I don't rip it this time.
It's like those Champions League draws where they can't open the balls. They're like, oh, it's for ages.
Yeah, just
Malik Mansour. There we go. It's official.
Yeah.
There we go.
So that's the 2 ties. They'll be played out throughout the month of April. Good luck to everyone. Good luck to all participants except for Steve, obviously.
I'm straight on your team. I've already got it up. Let's have a look.
Which team? My free hit team or this week's team?
I've got back a week. I'm no amateur. Don't worry about that.
no. Darren Russell went out last month.
He did. Yes, that was very unfortunate. But
very unfortunate.
I took no pleasure at all in that. So
no,
none at all. Right. Okay. So that was the draw. Now, Tim, you have to leave us at this point because you've got other draws you need to get to.
I do. I have company.
Company.
I a mate who's sitting in my kitchen waiting for me to go and have a beer with him. And I said, "Listen, I have to do a fantasy football draw." And he's like, "What?"
Priorities.
Don't
ask.
I like it. But anyway, you're going to do 101.
We're going to do 101, but you're going to leave us with a 101, and we're going to debate it. I hear.
Yeah, well, it was a very last minute 101 because I know you've all got your FPL 101s to discuss, but I'm going to leave you with the topical one over the last couple of days, and that is our Twitter rumor 101. Like, i.e., is James going to be Mrs. James tomorrow and all that kind of stuff. So,
there was also
where do we sit? Where do we sit with all this stuff? And I actually, there is a serious element to it because, like, we've laughed and joked yesterday about the whole James shite and what was going on at Everton, and actually we were just announcing that we got a new ground and it was all out, done by the council. Blah blah blah. JPC, who's obviously going to get murdered by Colombians anytime soon, and everyone else has had their fun. But my serious point in all of this is, like, James Rodriguez himself, who has a wife and has a family. What's he actually thinking? And he has 60 million followers on Instagram. What do they all think? So discuss that. I'm away, and he's still a man, and he'll still be back and all that.
He's sexy. He's very sexy.
I love him.
Yeah, I love him. I love James. I think he's great. But no, I think the whole thing about Twitter rumors and stuff. We can go and discuss that, Tim. Do you want to hang around? You're gonna go now and then leave us.
No, I'm gonna go. But again, I just want to make the point that it's all because he played that through ball to Richarlison that started the defeat of Liverpool. Goodbye.
Good times. Thank you, Tim. Thanks, Tim.
Right, I'll speak to you all soon. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
Bye.
See you later. Okay, let's. There we go. Okay, so 3 of us left. So, what do you think about the Twitter rumors? I mean, it's kind of an obvious one, really, that we don't like them. But Steve?
It depends what type. I think it depends what type. I don't like all the James Rodriguez. I don't care about that. I do like an early random team leak Twitter transfer. I like it because it's just quite funny most of the time because you've already made your decisions. Like, the decisions are done, and then someone puts in a WhatsApp group or puts on Twitter somebody's not starting, and it puts the fear of God. It puts the fear in you. Nothing you can do about it. It's too late.
Well,
I like them.
If it's before deadline,
that's different. That's different. Yeah. That could be a bit naughty, but I like it when it's after deadline because I just think it's funny.
But if somebody's, if they were to phrase it well enough, they got enough followers that they can make it go viral, like an hour before deadline. Son's not playing, and people actually take it seriously and actually start making. I think it's hilarious. Go for it, guys.
Oh, really? Okay,
you're
yeah.
Oh, brilliant! I think it's brilliant, and you get all this kind of like everyone's kind of ripping out whatever hair they've got left.
Is that not the same as all the fake news about? Is it not the same sort of thing? Like this thing of just
it's like, it's the
bullshit.
It adds to a bit of like around football, a bit more excitement, a little bit more.
I mean, if you think of the drama,
because we haven't got enough to talk about football.
What I would say is,
so let's make up a load of stuff as well, anyway.
Yeah, but maybe the James one maybe went over a line. Do you think?
Oh yeah.
I mean, massively.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But is it? Oh, we're not putting James Rodriguez thing as Room 101. We're putting just general sort of Twitter fake news, as far as I can tell.
Well, that Tim's thing was all about James, and if you take James and James's family and the what they must think of that horrendous rumor, then I think there's an argument to chuck it in Room 101, because I think that sort of stuff is really dangerous and really harmful. But what you're talking about is almost something different. It's like more
we're talking
stuff.
about
Like, so
Twitter.
what I love. Yeah, and what I love is like when Blakey will do something like so-and-so's been seen on the coach and we didn't think they were going to be anywhere near the ground, or so-and-so's not on the coach and we thought they were going to play. That sort of stuff. I love that. Like you, I love the drama. I love the intrigue and all that kind of stuff that goes with it. I love that. But I do think there is a line. I do think when I saw that stuff about James, I wasn't happy. Like, I was instantly, I was like, do I say something? Do I, and there's 90 people in that WhatsApp group. So, it's a slightly tricky thing, but also, it's a tricky one. It is a tricky one. The weird thing was there was another rumor that was also about the whole Everton, something's happened to Everton, it's terrible. And it was almost like that was the more sort of like dramatic one, really. But that was rubbish as well, because it was
so ludicrous. Well, I mean, both were so ludicrous, obviously, but I mean, they did. Looking back, they were ludicrous. But when you first read something like that, there are some people who think it's ludicrous, and other people who go, "Well, yeah, I always knew. I thought that was the case. He's very attractive, and all that stuff, and all the pictures and stuff, and all the memes and all that. It's definitely something about modern society that we deal with. The question is whether to put it in Room 101. So you two would what are we putting? So what is the subject that we're
Twitter rumors. But I think you've both made an amazing point that actually that's some of the best things about the WhatsApp group. It's great, but
when
there is also
FPL, when it's like people trolling people with an eye on FPL, and all the stuff that ended up with like people like club doctors or whatever taking players.
I love that.
That was amazing. Absolutely loved it.
And we love the drama.
The managers are talking about FPI. It's great. I love all that.
Okay, so I'm not going to put them in then. But with a caveat that still people shouldn't be dicks at the end of the day. There's rumors. There's rumors that is kind of funny, I guess. But also, what I love is not the rumors. It's actually the true stuff. That's what we want. It's the nuggets of information that we get, but those little gems. So without the rumors, you don't have the nuggets. So I'm not going to put them in. So
I think Blake sums it up nicely. FPL Twitter rumors, brilliant. Real life rumors is just celebrity gossip, and who cares?
Exactly, and that's why James almost was into that territory. So so that's that one done and dusted. Steve, what's your Room 101 selection?
There were plenty to choose from, but I went for early transfers. The people that make transfers 10 minutes after the deadline has gone, it's just irritating. It's irritating. I can't tell you the number of times I've been 0.1 million. Like, you must have experienced it, where you've been 0.1 million short. Like, it's ridiculous how often it happens. Right,
or you're 0.0 and the player that you want to get in is about to go up, and you're like, well, I have to get him because some idiot's already got him.
And it's always the thing. It's probably only happened to me once or twice where I've done the early transfer and then got burned because they then got injured or whatever, but it's happened. And so, no, I never do it anymore. I never, especially this year, because this year is carnage. I never do an early transfer, but it's cost me loads. I think it's cost me loads of money. I'm just like, I think we should all make a rule that we only everyone does it on Friday. The whole 7 million players, everyone does it on the Friday for the transfer. That's what I'm up for. That's what I'm proposing.
Okay, that's your proposal. So I would almost wish we had Tim here, because Tim is the ultimate in.
Oh, he loves
early
cash to me.
transfers. He will just absolutely follow. And do you as well, Banks? Are you on those price sites?
Absolutely love an early transfer for the price.
Well, Banks, give us an explanation why.
I think what Steve's saying is, Steve, aren't you just saying you're a bit disorganised? Isn't that what this comes down to? You haven't thought far enough ahead to plan.
I'm very organised. That's the problem. I'm very organised.
But you're organised to the 0.1 million. That's the thing. You might need to give yourself a little bit more leeway, perhaps.
I don't play the cash. I've actually, the FPL price changes site, I now never go on. I used to go on it like every day, every night, and I've made a rule that I just don't go on it and don't look at it, because it was affecting my game. It was making me rush. It was making me rush.
I think there is the way I like to play the game, and I haven't played it very well this year, but when I've played it well in the past, I've found that playing the price rises, particularly the first half of the season, can be so valuable, because you can just the team value can just rocket. And that means in the second half of the season, you've just got that extra couple of million to play with that potentially other managers haven't got. It can be really valuable. But if you're going to do that, you've got to play the transfer market, and that means playing your transfers early. Usually,
I do agree with that. And I'm looking at teams now, Daz's or Chris's, and going, how have they got that player? And it's because they've got an extra million or two on me.
And it's unfortunate, but all those teams because some teams only play for the team. There is a prize for the team with the highest value.
Oh yeah.
Is there a prize?
A
prize for it? Okay.
I think there is. Yeah. So there's a few. I don't know how many people there are.
Some managers are
only playing that game, so they're just making ridiculous number of transfers. Their overall rank doesn't matter, but they're part of this cycle of transfers, and they're making all their transfers really early. And then making several more transfers during the week, so it does kind of drive the transfer market. So I think you're right.
I think it's tricky. I think I'm in the middle. I think I'm in the middle somewhere, because I do watch the price rise sites, and if I need to make a transfer because of it, I do it, because you just have to. And I've been burnt before. I've been burnt on Kane. I've been burnt on people. And it's
early doors as well. There's some players who'll go up 2 or 3 times in a game week.
But I don't just do it for the sake of just the price rise. I would only do it if I was zero. No. I would. When I've got cocky, sometimes I've done it, and because we've played this a long time, so we've kind of seen most scenarios. And I've got cocky and started doing it, because I think I'm getting good at it and I can play the game. And then you get caught out. And so now I'm more of a bit more conservative with it. But if I'm 0.0 and there's a player I want in, and it's Monday night, I'll get him in. Yeah. You have to.
And I can see it from the other side of, you can argue it's part of the game and part of the guys that are really dedicated, and it's an added thing that we can look at as advantage and how you play the game. So I do get that side of it. I just think it would take a lot of stress away from me, and a lot of personal,
it would take stress.
Personal, emotional way.
But it's working. I mean, you don't need the stress, do you? Because you're top of the league. So
I've got enough stress.
It obviously doesn't make any difference at all.
Clearly, yeah. That's why you're the favourite. But what I would say about the price rises, is what I hate about the price rises is the cloak and dagger about it. So we have these price rise sites that have to predict it, but it's all guesswork, and I don't know why they don't just make it part of the game. Build it into the app. Which we won't even get onto the app, because that would go straight into Room 101.
Oh yeah.
But you should. That could all be built in. You could look at Harry Kane, and you could look at his info, and it could say going up tonight or whatever. You can make it actually part of the excitement of the game. Because why would you make it secretive? I don't know. And they have.
But that's why I think, because I think it's subjective. I don't think it is objective. I think there's somebody in the background going, this player's going, not for the 95% of players, but for the big ones that people are following. I think there's someone going, shall we put them up or down? Shall we, play the market?
Large scale corruption is what you're suggesting.
Yeah, I think there's corruption in it. I think it's
corruption.
Yeah.
That does change.
You should have thrown that into the room 101. You'll have to, Steve. You got to come back now. You got to come back and do that and argue that.
Corruption.
That would be one hell of a debate. But early transfers is a tricky one. Early transfers again is a tricky one because it does feel like it's part of the game, and it's part of kind of why we love it. And the fact that you hate it is almost part of why we love it. Like it's that kind of crazy reverse psychology almost. So I don't think I'm gonna put it in. I'm not putting it in. So on that.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I'd won you two over that one.
Also, because I'm the opposite. I do what you say. I do those early transfers. I've done it on a Saturday, I've done it on a Saturday before the player plays, and he's got to play. He's got to play that game, and he's got to play a midweek Champions League game. That's the ultimate. That's the ultimate. And I've done it.
This is my brother. This is Pete. This is Pete all over. Pete would love it. Pete would
get a guy who didn't realise was injured and then do the same thing. Yeah, but
he loves it.
He loves it. But no, so not putting that in. But Bakes, what's yours? Because yours is kind of linked, actually.
It's FPL related again, and my gripe with FPL, I'd like to go into room 101, is the length of time it takes them to update their game. And you'd have thought after all the years of FPL running, and it's not like they've gone from like 5 million players to 50 million players to 100 million players. The number of players has been sort of, trickling up a little bit year on year. Not like a crazy amount. How can they not have sorted their systems out that they can get this thing updated in like 30 minutes? You just think there's a lot of data there, but it's not
8 million players.
That much data that they can't. 8 million. I mean, really? Why does it have to wait till the following morning? And particularly at this time, when I'm updating all my cup spreadsheets, and I've got to wait until the following morning, it cuts down the amount of time when there's only 48 hours between game weeks or something. It's just ridiculous. Sort it out, FPL. What's the matter with you?
Okay, well, it's hard to argue. It's quite hard to argue with that because the weird thing about FPL is, considering it's a game that's 8 million people play, we don't actually really know anything about the people who run it. Like, who knows who the guy who runs FPL is? Is it one guy? Is it a team of 10 people? Is it 1,000 people who work in an office or remotely? Or is it one? It feels to me sometimes like it's one guy in his bedroom somewhere organising this game. But it can't be. It can't be now. It can't be. They must have a social media team and marketing and all everything.
They're doing videos now, aren't they, and all that.
Exactly. And it's massive. 8 million players, isn't it? What other? I mean, I'm sure the American football stuff has those kind of numbers, bigger probably, but 8 million is a lot. 8 million is a lot. There can't be any other fantasy football games, I don't think, with that.
No. None of that big. That's where I'm with Bakes on this. Like, it is ridiculous. You see what the live FPL.net, the Ragabolly or whatever his name is that invented it, does. And that is way better than the actual official. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hello. It's way better. Just
Did you say something? Did you say something? Oh, no, it can't
just a casual power cut. It's way better than what an official FPL that must have quite a bit of money behind it does. And this is a geezer, I think he's in India, just in his bedroom. Yeah,
it's live.
It's live. Amazing.
It's not going to change.
Even if the game was even if he was like paid pay per click and he had no advertising revenue at all, he'd be making money. So the fact is, we know he's got the official Premier League. There's loads of like money behind it, and it's madness that it isn't more open. Really, I agree with the transparency. Yeah, I mean this one's got to go into room 101 because it's farcical, really, that we don't know anything about these people, and I don't want to know their backstories or anything like that. I just quite like to know the guy who runs, just the name of the guy who runs it, and maybe how many people work for the company, and maybe we could find that out. But it's never been made particularly. I actually think if 8 million players, someone would have found that out by now, if it was that easy.
There's loads of rumours on all the stuff about Mark Sutherland, isn't there? Or the guy, he's quite big on about that. He's heavily involved, and there's loads of
football scout.
No, he's the guy who started that. I don't think that's. I think that's pretty much bullshit, because that's the reason he quit, because of the rumors. He basically was like, "I'm screw this. This is getting too much." Well, basically because of stuff going on. I don't know what it was, but I don't think he has. But there is no doubt now that fantasy football has an influence over the Premier League. So the most recent example of that is when they released the fixtures, like 1 minute after the fantasy football deadline. So that tells you everything you need to know. It tells you we're now in a situation where they know that we're kind of watching them so closely that they're playing the game as well. I guess that's
and so players, like my other one for 101 would be, should Premiership players be allowed to play? Bamford, I think, is treading a fine line on.
But Steve, my counter argument with there would be they get goal bonuses, assist bonuses, clean sheet bonuses. What's the difference?
I'm fine. I like Vardy, who says I captain myself every week. I'm like, cool. You're backing yourself. I like that.
Why wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
No, because if Bamford's playing Man City and he's got Salah in his team who's playing.
Fuck that.
No, that's the difference, isn't it? That's the difference. Bamford is not going to be a great fantasy football player if he captains himself every week. He's not.
But that's why he should be allowed to play. That's why he shouldn't be allowed to play.
Again, Steve, you love talking. You love basically bringing up other arguments. I love it. This could go on for hours, but we can't. We can't. We've got to finish now. So I don't need to have one this week. There's been a good discussion. Bakes, your one is definitely going in because it's a crazy situation that we don't know, and they aren't a bit quicker. The other day, I was obviously looking at. We all have to, as you know, Steve, what you do with the stats, and Bakes, what you do with the cups, and what I do. Obviously, we have to look at the league tables quite a lot, and so often at the top it says league tables are still being calibrated, and you're like,
it's awful.
It's been ages, guys. Like this is, and also sometimes it's only one game. It's like there's no excuse. Like if there's 10 games at once, I get that it's going to take maybe 12 hours, 6 hours to process all the data, but 6 hours would be max for me on that. But if there's one game, it should take 20 minutes to half an hour max. Like we play Bundesliga games and Champions League games, they're all updating so much quicker. Anyway, that's going in definitely. We should. I don't want this to get ranty.
I think it's a bit late for that, Chris.
A bit late for that. So I've had a couple of glasses of wine, and I've got Steve in the cup. So it's been productive evening. So Steve, I'm going to go and look at your team. You're going to go look at my team.
It's not worth it.
We'll have a bit of. I'm sure we'll have some two-way conversation during the month as it goes. And I'm looking forward to it. Steve, good luck to you. You're going to need it.
Just let me know your chip strategy. That would be great. If you could just let me know when you're playing. Yeah, that would be ideal. If you could just wait for Ben. I'm just waiting for Ben Krellin, basically. That's my chip strategy. Excellent. And on that note, thank you, Bakes, for doing this tonight. It's been good. Nice. And thank you, Steve, for joining us. It's been great. Thank you very much, guys. And see you all soon.